When a person has met up with the real guides, they begin to have more real experiences and adventures in their dream visions. If the person is a new student and working towards becoming totally aware, then they are working off their past karmic debts in a speedy manner under the direction of the real guides. The benefits of this, they are no longer tied to the gods of man and the lords of karma. Now, the new man with the new wave has entered their lives, and they will begin heading in the right direction, home. The real universes, the all is, that's the right direction, home. The real life, each new student is now better situated to earn their living and get on with their life on the earth, while the real guides are taking care of the obstacles that would normally get in the way. Paul Twitchell gave his students at least 2 years to give what he was presenting a try, and so it is that all new students should test what I am presenting to make sure this new adventure is for them. The real guides are always looking for those individuals who have the real courage into becoming the new leaders. Boy, that's an adventure in itself.
You bet. One thing that Dwayne has done here is we're so used to masters and gurus and teachers and the spiritual and religious paths. What he's done is cut through all that, and now we have the opportunity to be the free beings of light that we are, and that the real guides are. So they played the role of masters. Now they're just guides, basically, and they've gone and through they're having their adventure, and they're sharing with us. So it takes a little bit of a shift in the way one views things, because we're viewing things as before these people, these gurus and saviors, they're like far above us. You know, most people think that they're to be worshipped and prayed to, etc. And what Dwayne's presenting is that everybody's alike. You know, everybody's a free being of light. No one's greater or lesser. It's just the awareness that one has that makes it whatever, that makes it a particular. So that's very refreshing to know that we can be like the real guides, because they're not masters. They're not above anybody else. It's not like that anymore. Those days are finished. Now everybody's on the same level, that it just takes something to get through ourselves to the point where we can recognize our true awareness and recognize the isness. And these guides are here to help us.
Because all of us usually want something here. Many dreams are the result of an expression or a wish. And so the dream vision arena is where we meet with those situations and other people to begin to fulfill what we want. As we put together our interests, and if they are for a beneficial purpose, the real guides will work with us to complete what we want. When I first had the Rod of Power in 2001, Yabul Sakabe and the real guides were building me a giant fortress on the real side. I watched as time went on with all the different phases that they went through. Being a contractor, it was easy for me to recognize what they were doing. First came the giant foundation, with all the rough electricity and plumbing showing. Then the huge stone exterior walls, and then the interior finish. From the real side, this project did not take months, but a matter of a few nights, and it was done. The real guides had built me a strong hold because I was a child of light with a rod of power. They are building now. What they are building now is even bigger than ever before. These great beings always love the real adventure, and they are here for all of those who are lucky enough to perceive them. While we are living on the earth and trying to figure out our dream visions, all of us have lives and bodies on other levels. Most of us are not aware of them. For our survival here, the 5 bodies of man are first the physical, which is mainly the human brain as a receiver, along with 5 senses. Our second body corresponds to our invisible emotions, which is located in a section of the astral worlds, the first heaven of man. The third body is our memory vehicle and has a life of its own in certain parts of the mental world. Next is the mental body, which is the upper body of each of us and resides in an area known as the second heaven of man. The last sheath is the etheric body, the subconscious, the uppermost part of the mind. This is where our intuition works with our real awareness. These areas, so mentioned, exist in the psychic realms that are below of the deep, dark border, which is the dividing line between the real universes and the created realms. The earth and all the round worlds are at the bottom of life, which are made up of dust, rock, and dirt. It certainly pays for us to pay attention and perceive what's out there. During a person's dream visions, they will be projecting these bodies all over the place into the seemingly endless realms of time and space. A favorite trick of many humans is astral projection or remote viewing. These talents are what many people do without their knowledge. And then there are those who do them consciously. There is a silver cord attached to each of these bodies, and if the cord is broken, the physical body dies. Astral travel and remote viewing are part of the psychic sciences and are best left alone because by using these methods, the aura of the individual can become occupied by negative influences and even other entities who are looking to attach themselves onto an unsuspecting person while they are roaming around in the lower astral worlds. The real guides are adept at universal positioning, also UP. They can position themselves anywhere they want, and this is what they reach and teach their new students instead of projecting the lower limited bodies into other limited arenas. Those who are into spying on others and working for devious people will not be shown the secrets of UP. Those who do like to spy on others, such as the world government agencies, they teach their agents about astral projection and remote viewing, as do some metaphysical paths. So it's better to learn from the best and avoid all the psychic calamities, especially those who appear to be beneficial and are not. As one keeps an eye on their dream visions, they will be shown by the real guides with the various demonstrations who can and cannot be trusted. I remember during World War II, there was a big to-do about the Russians spying on people in this outer, looking to see who was their enemy and where they were going to be and what time. And the Russians were keeping that hush-hush, but still it leaked out somehow. And they were found out that they were doing now all that. Quite a lot of things. There was a special madam that was particularly good at this, and she was their spy or something. So that was used by the Russians in World War II. Maybe who knows? Maybe they're not only doing.
Yeah, I think the Germans too were into the psychic phenomenon and the use of it for spy work and other things, technology and all that, as well as the Americans. I mean, everybody was using it. Just, you don't hear about it too much. But I just want to mention, that when you leave the astral body, or you go out in the astral body, there's an opening in the physical. You leave it open for entities to come in. Same way if you're using drugs or alcohol to extreme, there's you're basically in the astral plane. Your attention is so other entities can come in and use that space and get a hold of that space, and then when you come back, you're not alone. You're not alone. You got company there. So, and then sometimes it takes, you gotta create an eviction notice for them, or somehow get them out because they've taken up residence alongside you there, and sometimes it's hard to get them out once they got a foothold in there because of the addiction or whatever, your attachment, one's attachment. We call it tap line. But it's very real that these entities can come in and even snip the cord and use it and enter the body and use the body, and you've just lost your physical body and they gain one. So it's very real because they know how to. They know that technology. They know how that works. We're so one-dimensional here that people are not aware of it. But a lot of these entities are astral physical, so they know shape-shifting and they know how this thing operates.
Not only do the world orders have a huge amount of spies and devious people on their payroll, they also use a large variety of high-tech devices to intrude on other people's lives. Some of these are HARP, which has the capabilities of huge amounts of destruction, such as earthquakes and killing mass amounts of humans and other life forms. There is no coincidence nor anything of a natural disaster. With so many things that have been occurring in the last decade, from 9/11 to the present, which is now, he says October 2011, that many people have been forced to believe it's that, such as Haiti, the Gulf oil spill of Japan, for example, or natural disasters, when in fact they were purposely man-made destructions. Paul in his dream book mentioned several incidents about what is taking place behind the scenes that most people are not aware of. One such case he mentioned was that of a farm worker mysteriously dying in his sleep in the southwest portion of the U.S., when actually it was black magicians who were agents for the certain few on a mission to disrupt others, to create a takeover for their own agendas. What is seen by the mind and senses on a daily basis is just the surface of a created environment, and not an actuality in the sense that a person wants to make sense of it. It's true that what we are feeling is happening, but all that does take place here soon and becomes a part of the past and the misty sense of taking place. You have anything to say about that?
There's a good YouTube video. It's called 5G Apocalypse, the Extinction Event. And it talks about how the EMFs are insidiously just taking over everything about us. The 20,000 or more satellites they send up there will be beaming off the antennas, all the antennas they're building for 5G. They'll be connected to all these smart devices in our homes, like smart refrigerators, smart stoves, smart washing machines. And then the chemtrails with their nanoparticulates that we're breathing, we are receivers for these EMFs as well. So everything will be, the whole earth is basically going to be EMF'd. They'll be controlled through these radiation, these EMFs that they'll be able to send different pulses through to control people, to give them heart attacks, to make them do certain things. So this is like an outward way of controlling people. The tap lines in the astral body during sleep is another, on the real side they do that. And in the physical, they're doing all these insidious things like this 5G program that is really overwhelming. I mean, this video is really good. It's called 5G Apocalypse, the Extinction Event. It's about an hour more long, and it talks about the creator of the 5G, this guy from Ireland. He created it. He was the engineer, and now he's in this documentary saying he made a big mistake. This is not for the benefit of anybody. It's really for the detriment of the whole world, and a total control device, which will, everything will be monitored and controlled through these, basic computer and AIs and through the means of EMFs. So it's something to be aware of too. But the new you can offset some of this.
As long as one is geared only to seeing and believing of things, which is mainly about the personal self and not about the real awareness of the individual, then they are locked into one-dimensional arena of agreement that has many times been forced upon them, which will eventually fail them. Again, free will is always becomes the decider. With every moment and experience each one of us has, This is the real razor's edge, which is mainly taken for granted by humans who expect everything to fall into their laps and be okay. It's all about recognition of this truth. Many lives by and do not want to confront. Many of these people just don't want to confront this. I have also had my share of good-sounding ideas and have lived through the remorse of them. The mechanics of our little self with its place in life is a lot more than what we want to admit to. All of us want to continually create, and at the same time, we do not want to bother so much so with the outcome. But there comes a time when we do have to become more aware and handle what our involvement here is. If a person does not take some degree of control with what they are always projecting and chasing, then they will stay unaware of all the forces around them that have been more of an effect on them than what their personal senses are aware of. I have known many people that have spent a lot of time with the psychic arts, and they would tell me about their horror stories and how entities would follow them back to the earth and pester them, kind of like the movie stars with their stalkers. The new student always has the protection of the real guides, because the real universal guides are from the true source, the all is. They have a great light around them that shields them from the darkness and those who interfere with others. The real guides protect their own and constantly watch over the new students as they constantly teach them from every angle of the spectrum to survive on such a larger scale than the general public.